I'm back here with Greg Ehrbar. We're looking at the work of Hanna-Barbera. And we know Hanna-Barbera for so many just unforgettable duos, right? We have Tom and Jerry and Yogi and Boo Boo and Fred and Barney. And we're about to watch Charlotte and Wilbur in Charlotte's Web from 1973. Do you think that Hanna and Barbera were aware of this kind of duo dynamic in their work, that this was a deliberate thing?
There is a lot more of their personality and who they are in their work that may be apparent. Whether it's there or not, it just sort of happened that way. Plus, I can tell you also with Walt Disney films, a lot of times there are characters in the films that those that made the films based the characters on. So it's possible. I mean, Charlotte and Wilbur were created by E.B. White, but it seems like their greatest works at Hanna-Barbera were based on the chemistry of one another, especially complete opposites. And in this case, it's not only Charlotte and Wilbur and Hanna and Barbera, but it's Richard Sherman and Robert Sherman, who also were complete opposites.
Say more about them.
Well, this was made several years after we'd lost Walt Disney. And the Shermans had enjoyed a tremendous success in partnership with him. Mary Poppins being the most famous, but then you had all the theme park things, and he had so many great plans for them, and he called them the boys. And it was part of the reason that he put them on staff, is he found they had a knack for using story and music inextricably. They were delighted to find when they entered Hanna-Barbera Studios that they were welcomed in a way that they had not seen since the early 60s.
That's really beautiful.
And they were brought in to the story, and they spotted the songs and put them in the right places. And it's an emotional film of great elation, and the songs just hit you. They underscore it so beautifully. The songs are extremely personal. It's my personal favorite of their scores.
How very special are we for just a moment to be.
It was what they call the perfect storm. The greatest cast you could possibly imagine. A terrific score that hits all the notes, so to speak.
Yes.
And production that is so fitting to what the story's simplicity and pure human touch is. It's a handmade film.
Yes.
And it looks like pictures on backgrounds moving around. It is a very pure cartoon.
And it's incredible to think about how they could create something that has that kind of depth and nuance when they were working on many things at the same time. It wasn't like this was the only project they were working on then.
They had just done, okay, Scooby-Doo hit big. So in '72, what does the CBS ask for? An hour-long Scooby series. Now, not an hour long with little Scooby cartoons in it, but 1 hour stories that run the whole hour. That had never been done before. Hour-long cartoons. They got a Genie cartoon, a Partridge Family cartoon. The work was, the parks were thriving. You know, there were so many things going on in the early 70s. It got even more so in the late 70s. They had a unit set up for this, you know, and Charles Nichols, who came from Disney, mostly on the shorts, and Iwo Takamoto, who worked on Sleeping Beauty and also had done some beautiful work and knew how to design a character. His design is just what makes Scooby-Doo, what makes this film. You know, how do you make a spider look like a character that she's cute, she's lovely.
And you can relate to.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's so much to do and so little time.
Thank you so much, Greg. Let's take a look from 1973. Here is Charlotte's Web. Back with me to discuss Charlotte's Web through our tears is Greg Ehrbar, the author of Hanna-Barbera, The Recorded History. So I want to talk about the cast for this film, but maybe before that, this film premiered at Radio City Music Hall in 1973.
It was a very big deal. All the major critics weighed in on it. Largely very positive reviews. It was, according to Joe Barbera's autobiography, when he was pitching another feature, Michael Eisner looked up the books and he said, "We made money on that." Paramount still holds tenaciously to this film. It does very well for them, and it's popping up all over the various streaming services. It goes from one to another, but Charlotte's Web has always been that way because it's the VHS hit. Those of us who remember home video, there were things that were never going to be on home video.
That's true.
Particularly the Disney animated classics. Just wasn't going to happen for many years. So the studios quickly scrambled to see, well, what else is family friendly that's animated? And this was one loaded with familiar stars, great songs, very, very sweet. And Paul Lynde, he was the kind of performer who was ideal for animation because he could take a word and it was infinitely quotable. I can't say crunchy without saying crunchy.
It says crunchy.
No, that's wrong.
The character of the sheep, Dave Madden, he was so proud of playing that sheep. And then Agnes Moorehead and Pamela Ferdin. She was Lucy in The Boy Named Charlie Brown, the first feature they made. And she was Fern, but she considers this one of her best roles and one of her favorite projects because this compassion for nature's creatures became a lifetime journey for her. She was determined to always take care of that, and Charlotte's Web had a lot to do with it. And this is another thing that's very important about Hanna-Barbera features. Most animated features are made over a period of time, and most of the voices are recorded separately. Hanna-Barbera was a TV studio. They did everything like a radio show. So for the most part, everyone was in that room.
So there's a real ensemble vibe going on. Yeah.
And she's a stage actress. And she said, working with the ensemble gives you that energy. You know, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
So you get that there too. This is a film about life. It's about passing. It's about accepting the realities, hard facts. It just has absolutely everything, and yet under the most simple circumstances. Now, as far as the score, the Shermans took quite a bit of the words from the text, especially Mother Earth and Father Time, you know, the autumn days. A lot of that is Charlotte's words. There's also a moment when she says, "Now is the hour when frogs and thrushes," you know, that was from some verse in the book. That was very personal to the Shermans. They were having some family illnesses at the time.
I see.
And when they were writing this, they were going through a lot of things. And then you also had the Shermans themselves, who were not always the most compatible duo, but they each needed each other. And one of the sons told me that if you look at There Must Be Something More, what is it about us individually that is different when we get together? There must be something more to us than you and me. We've got lots in common. It's about disparate people as well as animals. It's all very figurative, like Animal Farm, but not as sardonic.
That's
and
right.
dark.
Yes, that's right. That's right. There's so many beautiful lessons in this story that get really activated by the way that it's presented in this film.
It is a beautiful work. Oh, and it was also a personal favorite of Bill Hanna. He loved the film, and he loved the outdoors and that thing. People who worked on it were extremely proud of it. And Debbie Reynolds said she not only lobbied to play Charlotte, she said, "I'd do it for nothing." She said on the Larry King Show that she wanted to make Charlotte very maternal, very warm, very, you know, and she said, "I loved doing animation voices. I wish I got to do more because this was so satisfying." And she said in her later years, when she would do autograph shows, the soundtrack album was one of the most frequent things she was given to sign.
Is that right? Thank you so much, Greg Ehrbar, for discussing Charlotte's Web. And stay right here because coming up next, we have another Hanna-Barbera film, a live-action film starring Ed Asner.
Next on TCM, The Gathering, then Baxter, and later Chomps. TCM takes a bite out of crime tonight.